Okay. All right. Very good. Start my timer so that I keep myself honest. So we are going to use the wall tonight. And I think there may be only one person that's not done this before. And my hope is that everyone will get some deliciousness from the wall this evening. So we're going to begin actually seated upright up against the wall. So it's nice to still have your blanket or pillow. And then just find a comfortable seat. This could be crisscross. It could be legs out in front of you, right? Whatever is going to feel right to you right now. And just give yourself a moment to get situated, to notice that this might feel different, and let that be okay. And once you're there and the body has begun to just be here, give yourself permission. Just start to scan. You can keep the eyes open for a moment. Just take in this different perspective from where you perhaps usually practice. And without force, even almost without paying attention to the body, this might sound strange, but begin to invite the body to do whatever it needs to do as you settle into this moment, as you transition from all of the things in your day to right here, right now. One of my teachers, Lauren Roche, talks a lot about aliveness and how aliveness is this constant ebb and flow of contradictions, in and out, up and down, day and night, awake, asleep, receiving, giving. So begin to notice perhaps what contradictions might exist, what opposites might exist in your body right now. Maybe there's heaviness and openness. Maybe there's tightness and ease. As the body settles in here and the mind begins to become present, and gently invite the eyes to close. And with the eyes closed, begin to observe that ebb and flow of the breath, the in and the out, receiving and giving. You might even tonight, as I've begun to play with over the last few days, play with the mantra, receiving on the inhale, and then saying to yourself, giving on the exhale. Just notice what it feels like to say that to yourself. Receiving on the inhale, giving on the exhale. Notice what there is to receive and what there is to give. In another few moments here, notice if perhaps you can release the skull to the wall so that the entire back of the body, the skull, shoulder blades, backs of the hips are supported by the wall. And then the lower body is supported by the earth below. Receiving and giving. And gently bring the left hand to the heart and the right hand to rest on top of it. Notice what there is to receive and give here. And in this space, we'll take a moment to set an intention for the practice. Maybe it's this idea of savoring the aliveness that exists in the receiving and the giving. Or maybe there's something or someone else you'd like to honor or dedicate your practice to. Whatever that is, we'll plant the seed of an intention with a big inhale. Exhale, let it go. Gently release the hands down. Bring the chin towards the chest for a moment. And then flutter the eyes open from there and then lift the skull. As the skull lifts, we'll make our way down onto our back. Now, here's the fun part where we get to do a little scooting. So you can remove the blanket or pillow. You will want to have it handy though. And then turn yourself kind of so that you're sitting with your hips up against the wall, like it's giving you a hug, shoulder to shoulder. And then you scoot yourself down, and then like a rocket, the legs come up. And you might need to then scoot yourself close to the wall. The idea is to get your hips as close to the wall as possible. So this low part, right, the hamstrings, the glutes, backs of the legs, the heels, all supported by the wall. Just notice how this feels. The hands can be light on the belly. This might feel just fine. Or you can take your blanket or pillow, lift the hips just high enough so that you place that blanket or pillow underneath. And then maybe you scoot yourself back a little bit. And then release the hands down to the earth. The palms can be face up. Allow the eyes to close. And find that breath, receiving and giving. As the legs get adjusted here and the hips begin to get heavy, allow the shoulders to feel supported, the back of the skull to feel supported, the backs of the arms and the hands. Notice sensations here in the body. Listen to them. Allow them. What do they want you to receive? What are they asking you to give? Notice if the muscles of the legs are engaged, and if they are, just check in with the legs and maybe take a small adjustment so that the muscles can relax. Notice the low back, invite it to soften. Notice the face, maybe the forehead or the mouth. Invite this moment to express itself through your breath. Find a breath in here. Maybe a little bit deeper. And an open mouth sigh, let it go. And again, inhale, fill up. Open mouth, let it go. Linger here for another few moments. Observe. And then from here, gently wiggle the toes. And with ease, begin to find a micro bend in the knees and allow the heels to lower just enough that the soles of the feet come together. Let the legs stay lifted here. You'll notice the knees are probably off the wall. Just notice what showed up for you in that transition. And then slowly invite the heels to lower. Just a little bit, maybe an inch, maybe two, and then pause. You might notice sensations in the inner thighs. This might be where you stay. Or invite the heels to lower another inch or two and pause. This is not about lowering the heels all the way to the hips. With the support of the wall here, whether it's just on the sides of the feet, or maybe eventually if the heels lower, the shins find the support, the knees. Allow gravity to draw you in. Allow it to receive you and to create, to offer giving. And a breath in. Let it go. If the heels want to lower down a little bit more, invite them to. But notice if you went to a specific place with the heels, with the feet, out of force, out of a should, out of what you think the shape should look like. And if you did, maybe experiment with lifting the feet just a little bit. The arms can stay by the sides, or you can explore bringing them up, the elbows to shoulder height, like goalpost arms. And if you take that transition, or any transition, give yourself permission to notice and linger, and then to listen, to experience both the receiving of the inhale and the giving of the exhale. Give yourself permission to find an open mouth sigh at any time. Notice here the body parts that are talking to you. Maybe it's the inner thighs. Maybe it's the feet, or the knees, or the hips, the belly, or the back. Whatever it is that has something to say, just listen. Without needing to fix or do or judge. Receive it. Give it your attention. Breathe here. Notice if the body is craving any adjustments, whether it's lowering the feet a little bit more or lifting them up. And then linger. Find a breath in. Open mouth, exhale, let it go. And again, fill up. Send it out. Slowly here, walk the hands back towards the sides of the body. And gently and slowly, even more slowly than you think you need to, begin to lift the feet and then pause. And then allow the feet to lift a little bit more and then pause. Eventually the legs come back to parallel. Pause here. Notice if there's any scooting that you can do back towards the wall. Sometimes the body just naturally scoots itself away, so we guide ourselves back. And with the legs parallel, just notice. Notice if anything has shifted. Find a breath in. Let it go. From here, slowly allow the feet to widen. Just about an inch or two. They don't have to go very far. And pause. Notice how that feels. Maybe this is where you stay. Or maybe the feet separate a little bit more, another inch or two. Legs beginning to look like a V. Pause. This might feel like the place to stay, or maybe the feet widen a little bit more. And pause. This is the shape that requires the most space on the wall. So just honor whatever space you have. Know that there's no place you have to go. As the legs widen. And then stay. Feel the support of the wall, the backs of the legs. And feel gravity both coming up to support the sides of the legs and draw them down at the same time. Breathe here. Find that inhale receiving, that exhale giving. Receive whatever sensations are there. Give your presence to the moment, to the experience. And consider, what would it take to allow the legs to just melt or soften here? To invite the hamstrings and the quads to not have to grip, to trust that you are safe, to allow your breath to move through you. Find a big inhale. Open mouth, let it go. Notice here what it is you need. If there's an adjustment in the legs, or if the hands maybe want to find their way to the belly, or the right hand to the belly and the left to the heart. Notice what it feels like to listen, to ask the body for what it needs, to receive that information, and then to give it this attention, this effort, this intention, this love. And a big inhale here. Let it go. Another breath in. Send it out. Receiving and giving. Notice any change of sensations in the legs or any other body part. Honor it with your awareness. And then slowly, being gentle with yourself, begin to walk the heels back in, maybe just an inch or two. And then another inch or two. Until eventually the legs come back to parallel. But know that there's no rush. And when they do, allow the hands to fall back by the sides. Just notice. Notice the right side of the body and the left side. And breathe. And very slowly here, begin to find a micro bend in the knees. Keep the legs about hip distance. And bend the knees just enough so that the soles of the feet are on the wall. So it's not a very big bend. And notice, pause here. This might be where you stay. Or you can allow the heels to lower a little bit more and then pause. You'll notice more sensation here the lower the heels go. And because sensation finds us over time, we want to allow it to start emerging before we go to where we think we should. So receive this moment. Give it and yourself kindness, patience. Maybe it feels appropriate to lower the heels a little bit more. Or maybe you stay. Allow the soles of the feet to stay on the wall. Breathe. Notice whatever's there in your sensations and what perhaps can be released through the breath, in the body, in the moment. As gravity's there to support you. Receive that inhale. And give in the exhale. Notice if the body is craving any adjustments. Maybe the feet lift a little bit, or maybe the heels lower a little more. Observe. What is here for you in this moment, in this shape? Find a big inhale. Open mouth, sigh it out. Linger here for another few rounds of breath. And take a breath in. Exhale, sigh it out. Slowly invite the feet to walk themselves back up the wall, an inch at a time. Let this be its own journey. Notice sensations as they appear here. Eventually, when the legs find parallel, maybe lift the hips and just remove the blanket or pillow for a moment. And just notice what that feels like, the difference. Feel the tailbone on the earth, the spine, the shoulders. And then from here, slowly bend that right knee and bring the right foot to the top of the left thigh, at the left knee. So you're in a figure 4 here. The left leg stays lifted. And notice if the right knee wanted to come in towards the chest. And if it did, just gently with your right hand, guide it back towards the wall. It is unlikely to touch the wall, but just invite it to go wide rather than towards the chest. Breathe. Notice. This might be where you stay, or slowly bend the left knee just enough so that the sole of the left foot finds the wall. Pause. Notice what the right knee wanted to do, and perhaps just place that right hand on the inside of the right knee and continue to guide it in the direction of the wall. Guide being the important word here. We're not forcing or pushing. We're just inviting the knee to stay lifted rather than creep in towards the chest. Notice what's here. Receive that breath in. Give yourself the experience of the exhale. Sensation may have already found you here. And if it has, give yourself permission to stay. But if the body is craving a little bit more, then slowly begin to lower that left heel down. You don't have to go very far to find or to allow new sensations to find you. Continue to guide that right knee in the direction of the wall with the right hand. And breathe. And as the mind starts to pull away, invite yourself back to observing the breath. Maybe this mantra of receiving and giving. At any point, if the body's asking for an open mouth exhale, or a yawn, or a sigh, or a sound that you're not sure where it's coming from, give yourself permission to let that be released. Find another breath in. Let it go. One more time in. Send it out. From here, release the hands kind of out in a T, and have that blanket that you had underneath, blanket or pillow that you had underneath the hips handy. And gently begin to guide the legs, both the left knee and the right foot, over towards the left side. So the right foot is likely to find the ground before anything else. You might invite yourself to twist all the way down. Maybe the right knee starts to move in the direction of the earth. Guide the gaze over towards the right fingertips. And notice here if that blanket or pillow might be support or might help support that right knee if it's off the ground. Just allow yourself to kind of release into this version of a twist. And if the body is talking to you saying, I don't think so, you can extend the right leg out so that it's long and the left hand can find the back of that right knee. Allow your body to know what it is you need here. Notice the left ankle. The right leg. The right side of the body. Come back to that breath, receiving and giving. Find an inhale here. Let it go. Slowly begin to bend that right leg if it had been extended. And in whatever way feels most gentle, begin to guide the legs back up to the wall till eventually they find parallel. And give yourself a moment or two here and observe. Observe the right side of the body and the left side. And then as you're ready, slowly guide the left ankle towards the right knee. And just notice the side is likely to be different. So you might notice that that left knee automatically just fell in towards the chest. So softly place the left hand on that left knee, left thigh. Just guide it like it's a hand on your back, not pushing or shoving, but supporting, inviting. You can even check in with the left foot. It can help to flex the foot. You might notice that the knee stays wider when the foot is flexed, and that'll also help protect the knee joint. This might be where you stay on this side, or slowly begin to bend that right leg just enough so that the sole of the right foot rather, finds the wall. And breathe. Notice that left thigh, that left hip. Notice the back of the skull. Maybe that right foot lowers a little bit more. And if you lower it and your body says, wait, that was too much, give yourself permission to hear that and give the body what it needs. A really good clue to keep yourself honest in a shape like this is to consider, what would you need to change or do in your body to be able to stay here if we were going to be here for the rest of our practice? Wherever you've landed in your body, guide yourself back to the breath here, receiving and giving. Ebb and flow, seemingly a contradiction, an opposite, the in and the out. But in truth, one relies on the other. They happen not in spite of one another, but because of one another in relationship. Notice if the body is craving any adjustments. Give yourself permission to take that adjustment as we're here for just a little bit longer. Receive the sensations and give them kindness. Give them your attention. Find a breath in. Open mouth, let it go. Slowly here. Release the hands. Maybe bring that pillow or blanket that you had on the left side over to the right. And then gently, as the arms extend out in a T, begin to allow the right knee and the left foot to make their way over to the right side. This twist might look different on this side. Allow that right leg to come down, the ankle and the foot still supported by the wall. That left foot maybe on the ground. The knee can stay bent, Or if it would feel good to extend that left leg out, the right hand can find the left shin. Give yourself permission to wiggle into whatever feels right on this side, knowing that it is likely to feel different. Invite the gaze to fall over towards the left hand and breathe. Receiving, giving, in and out. Notice what is there for you to receive in this shape, on this side, in this moment. And what is there for you to give? Notice the legs and the spine, the shoulders. Notice the belly. Receiving and giving. Receiving the aliveness, giving aliveness. Find a breath in. Let it go. One more time in. Send it out. Gently. Even more gently than you think you need to. Bend that top leg back in and slowly guide the feet and the legs back to the wall. Let the legs be parallel for a moment and just pause. Notice. And from here, we'll find our way in a moment onto our belly. So you can get there in lots of different ways. One way is to bend the legs, the knees in, and let them fall over to one side or the other. And then when they do, we're gonna literally like scoot ourselves like an inchworm forward on our mat, but our shins, we will invite up to the wall, our shins and the tops of our feet. So you scoot a little bit, and then you scoot yourself back. And eventually, with our shins and the tops of our feet on the mat, we come to our forearms in our Sphinx shape. So here, just take a moment and maybe lift and lower the chest slowly enough to allow sensation to say hello. And you might notice sensation in a variety of places. You can take any wiggles and feel good. And then when you find a spot where sensation has something to say, Find an open mouth sigh. And give yourself permission to stay there. The fingertips light. Notice if you can soften the elbows. And on that inhale, receiving. And on that exhale, giving. Feel that giving of release, the belly into the mat. Heart perhaps lifting. The head can stay lifted, or if it would feel good, to drop the chin towards the chest. Just notice what it is your body needs here. Notice the tops of the feet, the thighs, the spine. Allow the belly to receive the inhale and to expand as it does. And then notice the give of the exhale. Perhaps the shoulders relax. Notice if the muscles on the thighs are trying to work their way through this, and if they are, invite them to soften. For the knees to lower down to the earth. Sometimes that efforting shows up even when we're trying not to. So it becomes a continual process of noticing and releasing. Releasing the effort, releasing the striving, releasing the need to be anything specific. Find a big inhale here. Open mouth, stick out the tongue, exhale. We'll do that again. Inhale, fill up. Stick out the tongue, open mouth, exhale. Slowly release the breath. And gently release the head all the way down to the mat. Create a pillow for your forehead with your hands. And consider here in this shape, what would feel most relaxing to you for this final relaxation for Shavasana? Maybe that's wiggling the body forward and staying on the belly. Or maybe it's wiggling the body forward and turning onto the spine. Maybe have your blanket handy for underneath the knees or over the hips. But give yourself permission here to gently guide yourself into Shavasana with as much ease as possible. And once we're there, just take a moment to get any last little wiggles out. To relinquish control of the breath. And then invite the body to feel the support of the earth below. To receive the energy of the sky above. And to be nurtured by the love that is within. Bring gentle awareness towards the heart. Notice that ebb and flow. That inner metronome. And observe that seed of intention that you planted at the beginning of the practice. Feel the support and the nourishment that's there for that seed. The possibility, the potential that exists. The aliveness, the energy that you have cultivated. Allow that aliveness to grow as your breath begins to lengthen all the way down into the legs, and the feet, and the toes. And into the chest, and the shoulders, and the arms, and the hands, and the fingertips. Bring small movements there to the fingers and the toes. And as the breath continues to lengthen, perhaps find a full body stretch, reaching the arms long behind you. Careful if there is a wall behind you. And in your own time, roll over onto your favorite side in a fetal pose. Cradle yourself there. And And as you cradle yourself, consider how you might bring this savoring of your aliveness with you off the mat. And this idea, as Lauren Roche says, that life is an ongoing process of being in love. In love with moments, in love with life, in love with the contradictions, the opposites. And when you're ready, slowly guide yourself up to a comfortable, easy seat. The hands can find their way to heart center. And as the fingertips gently press together and the hands find Anjali Mudra, create a space of gratitude between the palms. Gratitude for your breath, for your body, for your practice, receiving for the giving. We'll seal our practice with the vibration of an Om. You can let it wash over you, or if you'd like to join in, find an inhale to prepare. The receiving, the giving, the love and light in me honors, respects, and is so grateful for the receiving, the giving, the love, and the light in each and every one of you. Namaste. Thank you so much, everyone. I hope that you got what you needed from your breath, from your body, from the support of the wall. Using the wall for yin is one of my most favorite practices because in addition to the support of the earth and these longer holds, the wall adds in this layer and provides access to things that might not otherwise be accessible or felt. So rest well this evening, hydrate, stay warm, and be well. Next week, we'll be back for more, not on the wall. We don't do the wall every week, but you have the recording in case you want to use the wall every week. Good night, everybody. You're so welcome. Rest well. Yes, have a great evening.
Thank you.
You're welcome.